Welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. And I am thrilled to be joined by Mickie Kennedy, who is the founder and president of eReleases, the small business leader for press release distribution, now celebrating 24 years in business. Mickie is an expert in helping small businesses increase their visibility and credibility, and he's here today to share some valuable insights. Mickie Kennedy, welcome to the program and congrats on 24 years in business.
Oh, thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Yes. Yeah, super exciting. Amazing. So, as mentioned, eReleases. Let's talk about press releases. Is that a antiquated concept, or is it still important for small business owners?
It's something that a lot of people just don't realize how well it can work if you do it correctly. The journalists are still looking for news stories, and while they are on social media, they're also looking at the releases that go over the wire and, taking that into account and trying to build a story.
Yeah, absolutely. No question about it. And it's something, like you said, often overlooked. And one of the things I know you and your team at eReleases have done is really talked a lot about getting local media coverage, often without spending a dime. And we know for entrepreneurs, the more we can save and the more reach we can have, the better it is. So what do you want our listeners to know about local media and why it's important?
Right. So local media is important because it's some of the easiest media that you can obtain, and you don't need to pay a service like eReleases or anybody else to get that. If you think about it, there's probably less than 10 people in your local area that could write about you. Find out who they are and build your own Rolodex of media contacts, and then just reach out to them. I say at least quarterly, and give them a story idea where you could be spotlighted. And, it's really easy. If there's something trending in your industry, you can say, hey, going green or being environmental is really important right now in my industry. And I'd love to talk to you about how our dry cleaners is using certain solvents and doing certain things to help the environment. And so it's a great way for them to sort of leverage something that is topical and timely and put you in there as that spotlight person. And it's easy as looking in the newspaper, finding out who writes about your industry, then reaching out and asking for their email address. They are members of the journalistic community. They are also part of your community, so they do try to be accessible. Most of them will give you an email address, or even an admin there will give you an email address. You can also look on like Twitter and other places to see if they have a presence there, because some people, it might be better to reach out to them through social media. But just do your research. If there's a local business magazine or newspaper, find out who would write about people in your industry there. There might be radio and TV opportunities. Sometimes there's certain programs that spotlight businesses from time to time. Just sort of listen, ask around. And when you do find one that you might be a good fit for, just call and ask for the producer or booker's email address. And it's as easy as that going forward. And just, reach out to these contacts on a regular basis. You don't need to write a press release. All you really need is a good pitch, a good idea for them to work with.
Yeah, Mickie, I couldn't agree more. And you've really touched on some of the homework assignments that we like to leave our listeners with. But again, I'm chatting with Mickie Kennedy from eReleases. And Mickie, you're spot on. Obviously, publishers, publications are looking for subject matter experts, and they don't have a lot of resources, so they're looking for folks to, again, make it easy for them to do their job, which is awesome. So, Mickie, on that note, you've been doing this for 24 plus years. I know a lot has changed in the media landscape, but what hasn't changed? What are some of the things that you're seeing consistently, and maybe what's your crystal ball forecast of where the media is going to go over the next 25 years?
Right. So I think from a PR standpoint, we've seen a shift in non-traditional media. It started with blogs probably 10 or 15 years ago. Now it's including social media. There are, people with journalist access at the wire that are just Instagram influencers, for example, in the fashion arena. But, they want to have access to those press releases and get the news that's relevant to them so that they can sort of pitch what's going on back to their audience. And so I think that'll continue. I think that there'll be more importance on video going forward. We're not there yet, even though some of my clients do include B-roll and certain video footage with their press releases. Most of the media outlets just aren't using it yet. And I think that it's just figuring out how that's going to work. I think that I've heard some publishers are wary of using other people's video because they feel that there's a trademark issue or a licensing issue there at play. But, press releases are generally for consumers, journalists to use as they will. So I think that that'll be fixed and eventually rolled out. But the one exciting thing is that the types of releases that worked 20 years ago are still working today. I have clients that say, I've tried every type of press release and it's never worked. And I say, have you done a survey or study within your industry? That's the easiest way to stand out.
Go back to the basics. Go back to the basics. And that's what you and your team are doing. Again, Mickie Kennedy from eReleases. A lot of things have changed, but some things haven't. And I know you are helping small business owners, entrepreneurs get more visibility using tried and true methods to gain that credibility. And we've only scratched the surface, but that's all we have time for today. So I want to get our listeners in touch with you. How can they reach you for that consultation and that conversation?
Sure. So our website is ereleases.com. We have chat, phone, email. You'll only reach an editor there. We have no sales staff. Also, I have a free masterclass on how to build a PR strategy using strategic types of press releases at ereleases.com/plan, PLAN.
And we'll link to the show notes as well. Mickie Kennedy, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.